Hey everybody, it's the last week of August. We got some. Take it away.
Hi, I just want to take a moment to just show off two things at once, kind of Deephaven UI, and then just a little further push into SQL because this is important frankly as we move into more industries. The ones we've been servicing have been a little bit Python forward and a lot of Java data engineering types that we're servicing. We have a SQL calcite integration that is kind of underutilized, and we're trying to think about user experiences around this. So we've got a little bit of a prototype thing that I thought was fun to share on a Friday. You'll have to pardon me that I'm looking away from the screen. I just have a second screen that's a little bit bigger I want to work with here. So all I've done is I'm out in the community. I've launched a local Deephaven worker, and this isn't the interesting part. In other demos you might have that people have seen of mine. I just usually want to get some real-time data. So oftentimes I'll go to a source like Coinbase where the data is free and available. And we've connected with WebSocket, and now we just have a table, a la Deephaven. I named it Coinbase WebSocket table. Okay. And I'm going to show just two patterns. One is not new at all, so I'm going to go super fast, and the other is, a slight tweak on that I think is kind of interesting, at least to observe from a user experience point of view. So the one that is not particularly new is, that's not it, is we've had it that, within Python, you can import a SQL package, and then you can embed a SQL script to interact with the table, right? So in this case, I'm interacting with the table Coinbase WebSocket, where I'm doing a selection and a group by and a few aggregations here within this Python script that I've defined, and then I'm running the Python script. And sure enough, we have that SQL script defining the second node in the DAG, so that you have, new data coming into the Coinbase WebSocket data, and as into the Coinbase WebSocket table, and then as that comes in, the second node in the DAG updates, and that's called T1. And then I could take T2, for example, within the SQL script, and sure enough, this is just an aggregation on T1. Again, just another very simple SQL script, all run within Python. Pretty cool, but that has been in existence for a while. I wanted to demo that today, mostly as a just a setup for a different user experience that I think is a little more intuitive. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to stop my worker for a moment. And now I'm just going to relaunch it. And now I'm going to update this, reload this. Okay, so now I just have a fresh worker again. I'm going to do the same thing where I just go get the data. This is all exactly the same. So, the table started at a different time, but other than that, it's the exact same table. It's ticking in as it was before. Okay. But now I'm going to run a Deephaven UI script that Colin wrote or started writing, I don't know, a month ago as a little favor to me. And then I asked Mike to clean up a little bit today. Mike, is there anything that's worth talking about here that's really interesting, or hey, this is how easy it was, or something else?
Yeah. So this is just something I threw together in an hour or two. Basically, it just takes code that you write in a text area and evaluate it in a SQL code thing. Take the table output and display it right there in that same panel. And then you can also save that as a table. Makes using the SQL. That was all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's one of the cool things about this, right? This is just built. What you're about to see is built with Deephaven UI. So, he has the script, and then at the end we just run it through that, run it through that script. So, okay, so now where did it go? Why did that not pop up? There it is. Okay, so now we have this what I'll call the Bender Colin SQL notebook experience, and all I'm gonna I don't know, it's not responding that quickly. There we go. All I'm going to do is exactly what I did before, but instead of running the Python scripts, I'm just grabbing SQL. Like I could be typing here, but you guys don't want me to type. As soon as I put the SQL in there, now you don't even have to return the table arrives, right? So now I have this table that I could see that is the exact same updating table that I was seeing before. If I want to, I can save it. When I save it, essentially, it's taking something from, and adding this table to the global scope. So certainly this is something that for SQL will soon support by, create table or create view, which, will be quite idiomatic. But in this case, we're really just registering this table now into T1, and then I can add a cell here in this SQL notebook that Bender created. For example, I can then, take this next SQL statement and run it, and now I'm running an aggregation on T1 and producing it here. Okay. If I want to, then I can make this T2. I've saved this as T1, this as T2. And if I want to, the thing that I think is kind of cool, then I can go back to Python, right? Now I'm over here in Python, just in Python, and I'm going to create T3 that, does some stuff with the Coinbase WebSocket table, T1 and T2, does some natural joins, does some aggregations, does some AJs, and creates a new table of, it's a little bit slower. There we go. I must have must be spending a lot of resources here. But I have this table that then also will tick as crypto is trading in the world. I don't know exactly why that's not ticking, but it should. So I think it's just cool to be able to move back and forth between SQL and Python, and to have what feels like an pretty nice, not pretty basic, but early version of a SQL REPL. And one thing we're contemplating over in the enterprise side is being able to run persistent queries, so essentially applications that back these these transitory code studio experiences, or these transitory REPL experiences. So then you can imagine somebody banging on SQL here, naming tables, and somebody else even sharing access to that worker and being able to use the assets in real time. So I thought the user experience was cool, as a fun little prototype and a way for us to demonstrate our SQL capabilities, and maybe test it internally a little bit as well. So thanks to Mike and Colin for that work.
All we got for this week, so we'll see you next week. Cheers.